Okay, let's get started here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 18th meeting of the Village of New Paltz Planning Board. Tonight we have some administrative business followed by two public hearings and a few applications to review. We again like to look at the February 4th meeting minutes. Are there any questions or comments on those? In that case, could I get a motion to approve the February 4th meeting minutes?
I understand now that even though I wasn't at the meeting, if I've read the minutes, I can vote to approve.
Correct.
So,
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Next, do we have any updates from our village board liaison?
I do not have any updates other than the planning board now. A couple of weeks ago, yes, and both the referrals were no contact. Like,
Yeah, there were two referrals from the zoning board.
they had questions. Very much looking towards the solution. Asked for something. I said, no. No.
you have a question, please. Do you anticipate there would be a public hearing in like this forum in the ZBA, or the public hearings for the dissolution only held at the village trustees meeting?
Public hearings right now with the principally happening. Will be specialized.
And the referendum is scheduled for November.
Yes, that first, I think with the third, right. Before that, we have to get it.
Right.
The guy that comes, but it's possible, so it's a yes or no response. Yeah, so you can take that. That's I have no trouble in 16 years. So that's portion what I wrote discussion. Why
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks for those answers coming out.
Yeah, it's actually just to piggyback on that. I did have a meeting with the consultants specifically about planning boards and zoning and discuss what that would look like. So if any of the other board members have thoughts on how that should work or potential pitfalls, definitely let me know. I think I have another meeting scheduled in a few weeks to bring stuff up with them. Or there's also the website where there's questions. Next up, do we have any updates from our director of planning, zoning, and code enforcement?
Just to follow up on the Medical Lab, I'm working on transitioning new applications hopefully to that format. You'll notice that on the links, most of the links in the agenda now are going to the Medical Lab. The ones that were ongoing, I'm making sure that all the files in the Google Drive are moved over. There's still a couple that are sort of the 147, 149 is kind of in both places right now, but it's completely up to date in the Google. and I'm working on transitioning things over, so, my plan is to try, probably do everything that we have approved after January 1 of 25, only because that sort of seems like a very logical date to use. Will be in the Munich lab, and everything prior would be in the Google Drive for future, so. And I neglected to go, I had told the board that I would go look at the town planning board minutes, and unfortunately I neglected to go look at that today. So, we don't have any important.
Do you have any touch points with the town planning board unless they come and ask for a meeting?
No, I'm not in like regular contact with them, but I do think it would be good to just, be aware of what's on their agenda and kind of like regular updates on their agenda. So.
And just to sort of piggyback on what Zach and Bill said about the dissolution, there is one, I don't know what the term that they're using, but essentially it's like a breakout committee that is made up with the land use people. I think you're involved in that as well, Zach, or
Maybe I've only had like one-on-one meetings.
yeah, they've been doing the various board chairs and employees, department heads one-on-one. But at some point, there's gonna be these group meetings that they're setting up by Zoom. With the town and the village people, and one of the topics is land use. So at some point, you should be getting an email from them. I saw your position on the list, so I'm assuming you'll get an email about that.
Thank you. Are there any other board updates? In that case, is anyone here tonight that would like to make a public comment? Won't sign up for public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to our public hearings. First public hearing tonight is PB 2502, Manheim News LLC. Could I get a motion to open the hearing for PB 2502?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Would anyone like to make a comment on PB 2502?
I don't think anyone signed up to that sheet here. No, no one signed up.
Right, in that case, could I get a motion to close the public hearing?
There are a couple people online. I don't know if we want to just chat and make sure.
Okay, is anyone attending online to make a public comment? Or, sorry, public hearing comment?
That's not.
Could I get a motion to close the public hearing for PB 25?
So moved.
Second. In favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, could I get a motion to open the public hearing for PB 2503, Harmony Hall?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Would anyone like to make a comment on PB 2503? Okay. Could I get a motion to close the public hearing for PB 2503?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on then, I'd like to start with PB 2502, Manheim News LLC. Please come up. Good name. So, I guess last time we asked for a few changes to the site plan, is this the the revised site plan that shows. Okay, this shows the house.
It's not what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. And. Ask what to show.
Yeah, O2 is the house site. So that's-
Yeah. And does this set of site plans have all the changes that we asked for with the solar panel and
Okay.
solar panels?
I sent those changes over to Andy Bullingham and asked him to submit them to the village board. I called him today. And he said,
Yeah, I haven't received, Hector's reached out to me, I haven't received the plans yet.
there are 8 panels that are located on this face of the house, that face the woods, so there's no exposure. 8 sets of panels. 8 lots.
Okay, well,
I was gonna have a second submit them.
sounds good. I mean, I think this one is pretty minor change, so I'm comfortable with just authorizing Emily to prepare the resolution of approval and then at our next meeting, we can review those.
The other thing we want to just confirm is the relocation of the retaining wall.
Yes,
That's in the next
it
application.
should be in the next application, but it,
Oh, so it benefits this property where it accesses through this property, but it's on the other one.
it's on their own, it's on the other parcels.
Thanks.
So, yeah,
So the new plan for this property will not have the retaining.
it will not have.
That's what. The absence of.
Yeah.
I misunderstood, I thought. I was supposed to submit that for a signature set. So, and we just trying to get for this meeting for public hearing. Just, apologize, just too bad, but try to get it done.
It's fine. Well, were there any other concerns from the board? In that case, I'd like to get a motion authorizing preparation of the resolution.
So,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So. Yeah, well, see you next time with that.
Emily, do they need to take the retaining wall off this drawing, because it is shown on the other property?
Yes.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah, it's shown on the correct property, it's
Okay.
just on the plan
that's fine.
that's labeled for the house. So,
So then it's accurate.
yeah, so what he needs to do is amend the plan for, that you got approved to show the retaining wall on that one.
Yes.
Right.
And then also add the solar onto this
This side.
side, yeah,
Right.
and show the access too from one property to the other, which I don't know if this.
No, and you wanted a complete set. For the home lot, you wanted a complete revision,
All I need is the site plan.
just that set.
Yeah, I don't
the one
need,
page.
yeah, we just need the site plan page, the rest doesn't, unless it affects some other page. You know, I think he had a detail of the wall, we probably need that.
Yep.
So,
But while you're up here, let's just quickly go through the 2503, which is Company Hall. So as Mike just went through with you, there are those changes to those, that site plan that we need. But I think that's the only outstanding item, so. Yeah, we're ready for a motion authorizing the preparation of the resolution approval for the current 503.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is all for tonight.
Seems loose.
and he can tell him that I'll need 3 written copies and 1 email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Mike, this, sorry, just as a community collab, question, I went to this site plan and you brought in the approved documents from the former, from 2114, whatever it was, just for reference, because it's technically the same project.
Right,
Yeah, great.
So
So
what-
all these are on there from the old project.
so what's being approved is an amendment.
Right.
So one of the things in the community collab that I did, if there's an existing site plan or the most recent approved site plan.
Yep.
If, as long as we have a digital copy or can get one, I'm bringing it into, so you can see the existing and know that one exists. And I'm also trying to put the existing approval decision in there as well. So you can compare.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
Thank you.
try to help give, my goal is to give you as much information as I can.
Great.
If I start getting too much, tell me to back off and I'll stop.
Once it's written on the space on the drive, it's fine with me.
In the future, will that, like, if a new applicant comes in for the same property, will that already just follow along the old stuff from? the
As
past?
long as someone will have to upload it. It
Oh,
won't be
it won't
one
just
time.
automatically.
No, unfortunately. But as long as it's me or whoever takes my place, I'll just make sure that it's one of the questions in the review from our end. From Alex and my end, so it's, I just go find the most recent approval and upload it in.
Okay, next we have PB 2407, 147, 149, 150, Chestnut. Oh.
Evening.
Yeah, direct, the Gmail.
I do have the.
Okay, well, there's another one for you to play.
Good evening. Hi, all right, hello, everyone.
I'm just, I'm just,
Where-
I'm sit here just because I can see them.
Yeah, you can share or anything, you just go over the head, you should have.
I'm gonna log on. Sure.
Evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Dalen. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Petty and Fader. Here tonight, appearing on behalf of the applicant Westview Dev LLC, and I'm joined by Patrick Architect. We are also joined via Zoom by the applicant, as well as Mike Bodendorf of Hudson Land Design, and I believe Stark Hip of Labella Associates, our traffic engineer, will be logging on shortly. We are here tonight in connection with the board's continued review of the filed application for subdivision lot merger, site plan and special permit approvals, for the redevelopment of the property at 747-151 Chestnut, North Chestnut Street, with a commercial and residential mixed use project. And since we were last here, we understand that an expanded EAF Part 3 narrative has been completed by the board's attorney. We did receive a draft of that, and we have no comments on it, and would respectfully request that this board issue an declaration for this project.
So just to clarify, the applicant actually did the work to compile that, most of that document. And Lori and I went through it and made a few brief edits, but I was hoping that, well, I would recommend that the board really review that and make sure that it includes everything that's important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess maybe the first thing tonight is go through that, and I was wondering if there were any sections that you wanted to highlight for us, things that you thought might deserve our special attention.
Zach, would you like me to put part 2 up on the screen for you guys for reference?
Sure. Yeah, that.
And also just procedurally, we did set the hearing for our next meeting, so, to me, there's not any big hurry to vote on the EAF Part 3 tonight, the neg deck tonight. You could do it at your next meeting, it wouldn't really change anything, so just putting that out there.
So I'm sorry, you said the public hearing is scheduled for next week?
So next
the
meeting,
fourth, yeah. Yeah, we scheduled the hearing, but we put it back on the agenda tonight just to go over the EAR three.
Okay.
And reminder too, this needs to be referred to the county planning board, but we were waiting until we reviewed the part three for that referral.
But there were some meetings with county planning on the project.
A gateway meeting took
Gateway.
place, yeah.
um. Well, I mean, I think as maybe we could just go through it section by section, so there. Let's see. Which. The mitigation actions for section 2 land. 6. Okay, and one of the things I think we mentioned last time were the. Oh, I guess if that's in a different section, I was gonna say the views from the rail trail. Yeah,
We are prepared to address that comment, if the board would like us to do so now, or we wait until you get to it in the document.
yeah, we can wait. I was just reading the section about the number of trees that will be planted as part of this little plan.
Yeah, there's some repetition,
Got
the same measures addressing multiple.
So Zach, I do have the part two up here, if there's a section you'd like me to be at. Want to be at the question two?
So. Well, can you scroll down a little, just what other, oh, no. No, still section 1, I was
Oh, sorry.
looking at. Which subsections we said might have. Some small impact, so,
Letter A on
yeah, maybe you can zoom out a little, so there's a bit more on the screen here.
is it? Because on the laptop, it looks pretty,
I think there's a thing on in the middle, right under down. You might be able to push the lines. Oh, sorry, you're probably, yeah, you did less.
It just made the page smaller.
Yes, you see,
oh, let's make it smaller, yeah, you got it.
thank you.
That work, that better?
I think
Yeah,
so, let's
okay.
see, what do you think, Zach?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
So. Structural land where depth, water table is less than 3 feet, was that? Oh, it says it's after construction. I guess that is the site will be raised, with additional 12.
If we can ask our project engineer to chime in on that one, Mike, are you with us? See his name up there in the corner, but
Can you hear me?
yes,
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Jessica.
the question was about the depth to the water table after construction. You could just address the reason of the depth and also why, how it will get to be more than 3 feet after construction.
Well, part of this construction is we have to raise the whole site above the floodplain elevation. So we will be well above that groundwater elevation. As far as surface waters, our stormwater system is designed to not only treat the surface runoff, but it also provides storage or temporary storage of that runoff and releases it at a smaller or a slower rate. So it's mitigated in the sense of that we're discharging a a lower rate to the stream in the back after construction as it is now.
Okay, yeah. I think it might be helpful to specifically say in this document that the building site is going to be raised above the floodplain. Maybe that's in a different section too, but. Let's see. And then the other thing we noted on part 2 was that Profac may install construction that continues for more than 1 year. Is that discussed in this all?
I said, we do expect construction to last for about 24 months, but we're planning to use erosion control measures during construction to help to mitigate impacts in that way, such as silt fencing, soil stockpiles, protection of the trees. So we don't anticipate that extended construction period would cause any significant environmental impacts, particularly as it's not going to be a phased construction, it's going to be a single phase. Let it get all done in one fell swoop.
Makes sense. Breathe on tree and some surface water impacts. Yeah.
So I think partly just me being reminded, because I know this has come up, so. I remember that the 2 projects on North Manhattan, were, the developers were involved in the, agreement with the village to install a new station to replace the existing station, which is outdated and not functioning properly. That new station was meant to have capacity for the 2 new buildings that are currently under construction. There's a reference in the conversations we've had in part 2 about the capacity of the water sewer main system for this new construction. My understanding is that new station has enough capacity to absorb the needs of this new construction and probably additional development in the NPR if we were to find that correct to be prudent. So maybe it's not necessarily a secret question, but I think the question I'm asking to be reminded of is this developer part of the agreement to fund and maintain that new station?
So the answer is yes, they will be.
They will.
The original plan was for the village to pay a third,
Yeah.
each of the other 2 projects to pay a third. My understanding from the mayor is that with this project coming on board, this project would be assuming the village's 1/3. So all 3 projects will each pay a third of the cost of the new pump station.
Okay, and I don't know how like linear or mathematical these types of things are. But will we have a sense at some point as to the limit of the capacity of this station? You know, if it went from. If the new one was going to be engineered to account for the 2 new buildings. I guess they also engineered it to assume there would be additional development. Is there like 40% more, 50% more? Is there any kind of understanding we'll have of that at some point?
Dennis Larios knows those answers. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I know it was designed with this project.
My understanding was it wasn't so much a capacity issue as that the old pump station was just not working properly and needed to be replaced. And so I think that was more the issue than the additional flow, but certainly there must be some capacity. Yeah, demonstrated. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And Emily, we would need to include that language in the decision. Yeah.
We should probably put it in.
Yeah, because it is a mitigation, it is an element of the consideration for mitigation.
Because as it stands today, we could not
So it says here, the village existing water and sewer systems will have sufficient capacity to serve the projects. And I don't think that's true.
Which section are you on?
I'm on
Page 5, top of page.
top of page 5.
Yeah, that,
It's really the like to be upgraded system.
that's right.
And are there any other sections where that would need to be mentioned?
that is mentioned in,
Utilities section.
is it section 4? Yeah, it's section 4, the impact on groundwater. Is where that pertains in the secret.
Okay, so that also, I guess, maybe.
But do you want to back up, because we skipped over a little bit?
Yeah, I didn't have any comments on page 4, the A surface water, that all felt like discussion about the SWIFT was good, captured all the there. There any comments on that section? So then so groundwater. Well, I guess we'll let you decide where the best place to put any other references to that pump station. Sure.
Yeah, because right now it's just, we're gonna replace cyanide, but
I think
not the actual station where they can pass.
I think it's in the community, one of those last sections, community,
Since there's cross references all over, it'd be helpful to have, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Community plans, I think that's where the utility section is.
Just, it's not,
Might not have included it as area within no impact.
it doesn't have an error, she said that you said that like semi.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate. I think the consistency with community plans is a section that the board determined there were no or small impacts and then did not require an additional siren section.
Yeah, we'll get it in there, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. So looking at section 4, flooding, so it's pretty straightforward. No, section 5. Measures and that, it's good. And stop me if there's any questions, anything comes up, moving on to section 6, aesthetic resources.
But this is where the visibility from the rail trail.
Visibility, and there were some questions about the way it looked.
David, do you have those photos that you can share?
I did.
Because Rich was absent at the last meeting. He may want to see them.
we're asking the
Yeah.
number of trees to the same rate. So there's a hands up.
I think that was, yeah, that was the piece from the belt show. Right. That makes sense.
I can stop
Yeah,
share,
just
so
stop
you can
share.
go ahead and share.
So since we don't own the property on the rail trail, we didn't feel comfortable keeping the foliage of the trees. We don't have a survey of that location, right? Together with the fact that seasonal changes, right, leaves dropping, leaves blooming, it's difficult to identify exactly what you're gonna see. And further, when you're moving along the rail trail, the views through might change as well. So, just to be safe, if you will, we depicted the rendering effectively with no screening and the trees we know of in our property. Right? So you're kind of looking at a worst case scenario in this scenario.
And this would be as if you were standing with your toes on the trail, kind of?
That's right, yeah.
And what is that distance, out of your mind? Just get a sense of what the approximate distance to the edge of the building. So, or even the lot.
You're looking at, I would say safely 50 to 75 feet. I can share the plan.
Would this be our rear yard setback distance?
You don't share it, thanks, Steve, I was just, like,
And so you're
standing
standing,
context.
you're standing generally just here.
Yep.
And you're looking through these two trees, see that? And then into the backyard. Across the kind of file. And you're seeing a few cars here on the edge.
Yep.
And then you're seeing the building here to the south.
Like 50.
Yes.
We're talking about the setback distance from the property line to the building, I believe we have all this on the.
Building
Right,
to the parking.
this parking, I'm not sure.
So,
Yeah, well, I do understand why. You can't really depict the trees on the rail trail property in that rendering, and I do think it would, significantly change. The view, I don't think you're ever gonna. See it quite that clearly. From the rail trail.
and then the rendering, what is the structure to the right?
That's the.
That's the other project.
Yeah,
The other project,
This
this
is
is that
yeah.
close, and that's the shared driveway, that's right. Got it. Thanks.
That applicant did also have some photos from. Different overlooks up at Beaumont, including the sky top where they tried to. Point out, oh, I missed the fun bit with that, what would be visible
Yeah,
up
you
there.
have those.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, hold on,
They're in here, right, if I want them.
Yeah.
I'm actually, that's what I was just about to ask, I had requested that those get sent, I don't know if they did, so at some point, those, so they become part of our record. Thank you, appreciate it.
Up to seven completion. Question of traffic impacts, studies.
I had a couple of questions here.
Yeah.
Um. If I remember correctly, when we reviewed the traffic studies, we discussed the idea that there was a degradation of the intersection, I believe it was 299 and North Chestnut down to an F, or maybe it's already an F, it's a worse F. But there was this conversation and there was this recommendation around the reprogramming of the traffic signal to improve that intersection. That's not in here, I don't think.
That would be good to put in.
And it would seem like, I mean, it's, I understand that all the things we'd have to do to make that change happen. I understand that, as I understand it, the county will, maybe the state have to be involved in that.
Actually, it's only the state, because DOT is control of that.
And I think we all discussed it as like, that's really the way that it becomes a mitigated impact, because it's a worse F, it's not really mitigated, it's worse, and it's an F already. So I think it's pretty important that stay in the conversation, or else it'll open and it'll be really bad, and then maybe they'll fix it after that. We'll have already been shamed and everybody will be mad at you, and so I really want to make sure that key recommendation doesn't leave any of the documentation we have, in particular the secret level documentation.
Yeah, I'm guessing, so the concern would be that we don't want to word it such that we need that change in order to not find a significant adverse impact, because we can't count on that change happening. But we can, I can word it so it's not
Like strongly recommend,
Yeah.
so the study shows and all that stuff.
recommendation rather than.
And then the only other question I had was around sidewalk. It's another one of those like conversations that come up, but we all agree that it'd be a big pain in the butt to do it, but we know it's important, the connectivity of the sidewalks. Is there a place that gets addressed to, I know that most of our conversations have said that it might be a challenge to connect the sidewalks all the way into, the Main Street corridor there, but it would seem like the improvement of traffic flow would be dependent on thoughtful sidewalk development that integrates with the two adjacent properties.
Well, this. By two, you mean 145 and then down further.
Two southern,
I mean, the site plan does show this sidewalk connecting to the property directly south. Right? It does. Should I follow up?
not necessarily, so then. So is it considered a mitigation? In other words, if someone said that this building is gonna have a lot of foot traffic requirements and people waiting for public transportation and new bike lane and all that. So if it didn't have a sidewalk, it would be dangerous. Your mitigation is that you're installing sidewalks that connect to the adjacent property to mitigate any pedestrian risk of coming and going through this building. So I feel like it meets a criteria that of like a mitigating aspect of the development.
It will improve the connectivity on the side of the street.
And make it safe,
Particular.
because it would be otherwise unsafe.
That's.
Should we also mention the request, and again, it's up to DOT, but the request for the reduction of speed on North Chestnut? Again, like you said, Emily, we can't say it's going to happen or not happen.
Right.
But out of this project, the village requested, and the village and the town requested of DOT, and that I'm told that's under review. Whether it happens or not, we don't know, so that's why I don't know if it should be mentioned or not.
I just don't know if that would. Is that really like a mitigation of the traffic impacts? That seems like, good thing, a quality of life thing, but I don't know if it's directly.
It's traffic calming.
traffic calming.
More for human safety than for.
Yeah, I think it is a safety, but, you know, maybe, sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more volume, a lot more people, a lot more bikes, you know, just. Now, again, we can't guarantee that it will happen, so it has to be worded similarly to the traffic signal improvement. Maybe it's done as kind of one section. But there are, you know, two elements that have been discussed and recommended.
Moving on to section 8, energy.
Just realized another thing that I don't think is mentioned in here is the fact that you redesigned the project to for the shared driveway, which mitigates a number of things really.
Should
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's in the traffic.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's the second
Yep.
subsection on transportation.
Oh, I skipped it. Perfect.
Does the energy section need to have any language about that? New York energy codes or sustainable building practices?
I don't think the village has adopted anything beyond, right,
They have not, they did not adopt the stretch.
and maybe something the county comes back with as a recommendation.
Right, yeah. On to the final section, noise, order and light. Actually, yeah, we had a discussion about the loading and unloading zones last time, like, were there any updates?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Were there any updates on, we had left it that you guys would take a look at those.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I think we should probably kick it to Mike and see what.
Mike, are you able to take that one?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Talking about loading and unloading,
Loading and unloading in the parking lot in the back, right, for retail.
There were two areas identified, Mike, on the site plan that were loading areas, but we had questioned at the last meeting if they would impede the flow of traffic, and there was a generalized discussion about it, and we were told that the project team would take a look at it, so just
Yeah,
curious.
we're still working on that to come up with a better solution. So that's forthcoming.
We agreed that it wasn't really a seeker issue, it was something that we wanna.
Site plan stage. Yeah, we are prepared to answer any questions that are outstanding for this, that do not pertain to the secret review, and obviously during that period.
Um. I think it's in pretty good dates, but given that our, have a small on the board tonight, I was hoping that the other board members should get a chance to review it. I mean, how do you guys feel about waiting till we get the final draft from Emily at the next meeting?
Yeah, and also a public hearing.
Right. And we'll look here as well.
Do
Can I
you need
ask
to-
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I just want to say, because this involves a subdivision, we need to keep the public hearing open after you have voted on your determination of significance. So we'd have to just be careful of the timing of that. So in other words, you could open the hearing and then not close it till the next meeting, or we can work that through.
Sorry, that was gonna be my question, would the board consider voting on the determination of significance today? Understanding that the public hearing will have to happen after the vote has occurred. We closed out.
So we could open it before the vote has occurred, but we can't close it.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think we probably want to have a public hearing open. Well, unless there's really not. Not. any-
Unless there's no comment, yeah.
But I mean, could we structure the meeting so that we review the application first and then have a public hearing
Absolutely.
after? So. Maybe that would be.
You could make the changes you just spoke about tonight for the March 4th meeting, which is when the public hearing is open. You could make those, discuss those changes with, plus potentially have 2 other board members here at that meeting. And then open the public hearing.
Yeah, after.
Yeah.
after vote. Sure, okay.
Well, Emily, you said you could open the public hearing and then vote on seeker after the public hearing is opened.
Yeah.
You just can't close the public hearing until seeker has been voted on.
So
Right.
if there were not public comment or substantial public comment during the next meeting, and you did choose to go the way of opening the public hearing, then seeker, would you then go back and I'm just trying to figure out the.
Right, yeah, I know, I'm just wondering that too, could you have like 2 sessions of public hearing in the
Right.
same meeting? I think it would make more sense, like Zach said, to just do
Yeah.
the seeker determination
Yeah.
first and then
Started.
open it, and then open the hearing, yeah. Unless you want to hear from the public to see if they have comments that would affect your seeker,
That's what I always think.
Yeah. yeah.
So I'd like to, I'm hoping we didn't miss anything, but.
Well, bear in mind though, we have no furthest to the county, and you can't close the public hearing until you get the county comments.
That's right. So I think we should just do this, I don't care which steps we do, but I don't think we should feel rushed. You're still 30 days out because of the county review. So let's,
Well, we haven't made a motion now. With this not a finished document,
I
we
think
could
we
refer
can-
to the county now.
We can refer to the county, you just have to have everything in that you're going to use for your.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable. At this point, referring to the county. This,
I can send them this draft as it is right now, anyway,
Sure.
because it's a document we have, so.
Okay, well, can I get a motion to submit the application to the Ulster County Planning Board? So,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. So then just to recap, I think what we would do then at the next meeting is probably open the hearing, take comments, then come around and vote on the
Yes.
so part 3 and keep the hearing open till the following meeting, and then we have the county comments.
Great. And I guess the only other thing for tonight is looking at the special permit uses. And says there's a letter addressing that here already.
Yeah, a long time ago, March 25th, 2024. we got a letter from the applicant, about the special permit uses and the criteria. In the code. I just wanted to make sure that the
I
board,
think actually that one of the more recent submissions had something too.
okay,
Let me see if I can find it.
thanks. So there are a number of special permits, there are a number of elements of this project that require a special use permit, which are the first floor residential units, which, so in the NBR, the first floor can't be residential unless it's a special permit. And wait a minute, what about if it's, I'm trying to remember now, what about if it's, it has to be accessible, right? ADA accessible, okay. And then, we also need, special permits for the commercial uses, which I think that the applicant has provided a list of the potential commercial uses. The rooftop deck and the connection to the rail trail also are special.
Right, and for each of those, will we need the special permit narrative and those questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can kind of combine it because those questions really apply to the whole project, not
I
to
see,
each of those things. Which is, I think, the way that the applicant addressed it in their letter.
So we'll have all those documents together for the next meeting, I guess, or are you saying that we already have all of that right now?
Well, we have somewhat of a narrative. Do you want me, how about for the next meeting, Lori and I can kind of analyze it and package that for you?
Yeah, I think that would be good,
And you need any input from our office as you look through it, we're happy to help in whatever way we can. Thanks.
And we have had success in,
You know, Emily, I apologize, I'm confusing it with the ZBA submission.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
and we have had success in, that special use permit. That includes the categories of businesses that are sort of pre-approved under the special use, so I'm sure you're already referred to that as the model for this work.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any more direction as to what commercial uses? Or is it just that long list?
I don't know that we've narrowed it down
Yeah,
further since the last time we were here.
I know by the time it gets built, you know, it's hard to know exactly what.
There were 3 uses pulled from that list
Oh, okay,
that we thought were, probably the best use of the retail space. Food and beverage was one of them. Could have been gymnasium. That's another, there was a third. But nothing outside the list that was already. approved. It should be in your. It's vetted.
okay.
Yeah, and if not, I'll make sure we confirm that for you next time.
well, I think. That is all for tonight then, and we'll see you next time for the public hearing.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone.
Right, next we have PB 2505, Level Water. Moving on. Well, come on in. So, in front of you, that's- right there. So, you,
Yeah.
give us a little.
Elaborate, yes. So, we start to feel like this is gonna get lit up like a Christmas tree. Meaning that a lot of these lights were at like 15 feet or big spotlights are shining down on the parking lot, and illuminate and spill over into the rail trail, and spill over into the neighborhood. Residential houses and the street when there's already street lights there. So we wanted to create more of a softer, look as far as light are concerned. And in doing that, it's all very low light. So it's all pointing down. Those are the three fixtures. This particular fixture, you guys, I have brought example and you've seen it in the last time. These are Ballard that we use at Woodstock Way and so it's a lot wider. So kind of, having lights at 15 feet and higher was just not our side approach at all.
So are these little like blue markers where?
Yeah, so there's this is the legend. And so there are three different types and 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, so right now we have this light that's going to be on a signpost that is, I think it's the stop signpost that will be pointed down and illuminate this area specifically. We were looking to illuminate the sidewalk across the back of the property or the front of the property. And then there's also Ballards here. You can see this is 3.5 foot, and then there's also there are variations here. You can see we're all part of that here. And then these lights. There's this light, and that's located all along the building and it's pointed down.
What height are those?
So they're all different heights, and they're all right here. We were trying to take the snow into consideration. A deep snow was, or getting pushed up against the snowplow and push the snow up against it. So that was one of the things that we took into consideration. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we won't have 4, 5, 6 foot mountains of snow. If there are, then we're gonna dig out the lights. Lights are important to see.
It's an off site anyway, probably for that site.
Maybe, yeah,
Often.
it's definitely possible. Hopefully not off the, yeah.
And is there any risks around site safety based on reducing the total amount of light and the relocations?
So good question, to my knowledge, I mean, the foot candles, I saw some bare areas and I was like, no, let's put more light.
Yeah.
Which there was, some bare area over here, so we added light here, at our property line. And then there's light all around these stairs, so, yeah, no, there's, I assume our engineer, vetted this enough to keep us in a safe place.
Rich, I did an analysis of the lighting, just a quick memo to you guys. Which basically I would agree that for parking lot lighting, minimum of 0.2 foot candles, and I checked the whole site and it's more than that
Never gets through.
throughout, yeah. I mean, maybe in the far extreme corners it's 0.1, but it's one spot here, one spot there.
And does that foot candle measure take into account the streetlights? Probably not.
That's
It's a good question. We talked about it, but because utilities have been changing, we're retiring a pole. There's a new utility pole that was already put in. I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna put back, because I think the town or the village owns those lights, right? I'm pretty sure. So
unless there was a lighting district created, which I'm not aware of, the village is under control of those streetlights.
So, I imagine one would go back. I just don't know where that's gonna go. there's a pole, there's a new utility pole at our north end of our property is where we're gonna get our service from. And then there's one to the north of 13 Water Street. That it'll all kind of connect to. So,
Well, looks good to me. I really support gentle lighting.
I believe they're all gonna be a 2700 color too, so it's not gonna be like this. Plastic light.
Great.
And then the only other thing that, I guess we were asked to come because we moved. The charging stations from this side of the sidewalk to the front. So we have a charging station here.
It's the four
Station here.
dots, yeah.
It's, what's that?
Is there a reason there?
I think because this sidewalk, it's partially covered. So it didn't really give a ton of space for people to walk, so we took them out that way. And this is where. Yeah, electrical vehicle, so it's a charging station that has 2 chargers. And this one also has 2 chargers, so 4 at any given time, 4.
So it's 2 stations that you can charge for.
Yes.
And obviously didn't replace any of the handicap locations.
No,
Change
that's
to
it.
the handicap.
I was one of my questions too. No, I wasn't keen on having those chargers be in the handicap spot, but actually be accessible to the handicap spot. And it's perfectly placed there. Fine tuning.
Yeah. When was the approval of this?
So. There've been 2 approvals. The first one. It was over the summer, I believe, but I can tell you.
Do you anticipate starting before the year approval?
It's April.
Oh, yeah. April 2nd was the original.
Yeah.
Huh, look at that. Yeah, we're close.
Well, Emily just, but with an amendment,
The amendments start the year.
the amendment starts, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they replaced their old approval with the new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So does that also mean that they can't do any work until this is approved?
No, they can begin the demolition and other things because, yeah. Cause all they're doing is amending the plan for these 2 elements. August 6th, 24 was the most recent.
Yeah, we're close. I mean, we're super close. Demo, if I have my way, we'll be building.
But you don't
it
have
by
to
the end of the
be-
month.
You don't have to
And this-
complete it within a year, you have to
No.
start.
just have to get a building permit within a year, right?
Right, which, I'm waiting on MEP and MEP is this close and once he gives us the final plan, we'll be submitting hopefully by the end of the week. No, I'm super excited.
The change of this type though on the site plan. It does fall under the referral to the county.
Yep.
So we probably should refer this to the county. The downside is. We couldn't do a decision at the next meeting if the county doesn't meet until the day after that. So, but normally we have the public hearing and do the decision the following.
Okay.
To 2 meetings from now then.
Motion.
Okay, so first, could I get a motion to classify this as the seeker type 2 action?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Next, could I get a motion to submit the application to the Ulster County Planning Board?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
And so you are suggesting that we set the public hearing not for March 4th, but.
No, we should set it for March 4th and then we would do the decision. On the, my
Yes.
point was you
Yeah.
couldn't authorize the decision to be done on the same night as the public hearing. which we sometimes do,
Sure.
but you could do it at the 18th.
That sounds.
So they also need to go to the design review board, right?
I think so, I'll double check, I'll double check with Alex, but I think this, because of the lighting aspect of this. We need to go to the design review board and get approval for that. And they meet on the second Monday, so they would meet before your decision.
So you wanna send me a note to connect
I
with them?
will.
Okay, all right, great. Yeah, I'm sorry to push you guys through this, I didn't realize it was gonna be a whole.
Jesse, what we'll do is we'll send them a notice of what you're doing, then they'll decide if they wanna see it or not.
Okay,
This is what
alright,
they.
fair enough.
They may just say, we can look at the plans and that's okay.
Yeah, we could just write it down. So in that case, could I get a motion to set a public hearing for March 4th?
So,
Second. All in favor?
Thank you,
You're welcome, thank you.
enjoy the night.
Jesse, I'll send you notice.
Okay. Okay, and
Yeah. Okay, then I'll leave.
okay, sounds great, they gotta go up this Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
it's quick, but
so it's okay, okay.
All right, and lastly, could we have PB 2506 14 Lincoln Place?
Hello, everybody. Hi.
So could you just introduce yourself and give us a little overview?
I'm Gary Singleton. My wife and I purchased the house last month. And my daughter goes to SUNY New Paltz. And we want to put an extension on to have her live there.
but I'm sorry, so you were going to live there or you live there and you want your daughter to live there?
No, we just purchased the house and my daughter's gonna live there with her sweetness. So we're proposing to add 2 bedrooms.
And Emily, could you just fill us in on the CBA situation and the variance?
Yeah, so this needs in order to be a 4-bedroom, it needs a variance because the lot size is a little too small for a 4-bedroom according to the code. A 3-bedroom would be allowed.
3-bedroom will be allowed, 4-bedroom, they are approximately 100 square feet.
94 square feet.
Yeah, I think it's 94, we have to calculate the exact number, but 90 to 100 square feet of the size of the property. Too small in order to do a 4-bedroom. Fairly minimal in the grand scheme of things, but it is too small.
So the ZBA will be setting a hearing, or have they already set a hearing?
They have not seen this application yet, they'll see it March 11th for the first time. My guess is that they would set it for a hearing for April.
Yeah, so normally the planning board shouldn't really go too far in its review until we know whether that variance has been granted. So I would suggest just doing the secret classification for now and then wait until the ZBA is proceeded before we get into our review and hearing.
Okay,
Unless, if there are initial comments and discussion.
yeah. So. Yes. Cool. Floor plans here and everything. Why did you choose to do 4 bedrooms instead of just 3 bedrooms? Not have to go through the whole ZBA process?
Just because all the girls want to stay together. Just for the longevity of it, I think it's worth the value, fits the property nicely. As far as the neighbors' size of houses. There's a detached garage on the property as well.
So the other houses next door are
Similar in size, yeah, not as big as this, but. Yeah, similar in size, I think the 4 bedrooms.
The one Hasbro place that we reviewed earlier tonight is right around the corner from this one. About 5 parcels away, maybe.
That's a 3-bedroom, right?
Yeah, yes.
And the.
So I didn't realize when I spoke to Alex, when I was in the process of purchasing the house and, you know, figuring out what we were gonna do. He told me kind of what I needed, and then again, the lot size was 0.22 acres. And we came up just under 100 square feet short, but I think my architect is different when he looked at the photos. If you look at the first page,
He's talking about the lot coverage.
Yeah, lot coverage.
and Density.
Yeah, coverage stays under, but the density,
yeah,
size density of the house is over.
Correct.
right there where you're looking.
The lot coverage is at, I believe, 27%, and it needs 30.
Well, they're using permeable pavers, so, you know, 27%, still a lot of paved area.
So the whole, what is all of the driveway and parking areas?
The main drive is gonna stay the same, it's asphalt now. And the back portion of the house, I'm gonna take up and put it in permeable pavers.
And of course, the lot coverage includes the.
Yeah,
outbuilding.
the parking area there with the 2 parking spaces is what I believe is the permeable pavers.
Yeah, they required 2 more parking spaces.
Until Alex and I did the math last week, when we were getting ready to refer it to the planning board, that's when we discovered that it needed the variance. Until that time, we had, because we knew it was close, but when we actually did the math, it came up to, I believe it's like 96 square feet too small for the property.
Yeah, so that's why I did the fourth, because I was all in, I was in contact with them. I thought that it was doable. Without going to the zone. Appreciate it.
So it's just so hard to visualize it, it's by itself. Where the houses are, I drive past. No.
Yeah, it's right
But by
behind Middle
itself.
School.
No, I know exactly the house, it's just when you say the houses are the similar size, or you say they're close or whatever, it just. I have to drive by it again.
Yeah, right.
So this is going to be a call to my daughter and
For my daughter, yeah.
her daughter and her friends, and then after she moves out, I'm just gonna keep renting by the room.
Not sure yet. We might, you know, turn around and sell it.
Right, but you as a family are not.
Not at this point.
So I guess that my question for that is that it's listed here as single family residential. Does that change if the uses that?
Well, no, I mean, this could still be considered as single family, of course. Gets into a complicated discussion of our village code and what constitutes a family, you know.
Right.
There's a lot of discussion about that.
Yeah, it's 1 kitchen, right? And so the
Yes, one
people that are living there are living together as a group.
Right.
Sharing the facilities.
Right. So even though it's more than 3 unrelated people, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are. Oh, 2 entrances, right? That's an entrance in the back.
Yeah, the front and the back is now like the main entrance up there, the old owner used, so that's what the girls would use as well. We still have the front door.
What's the,
Changing all the windows.
what's the resultant square footage of the finished?
Double, I believe, like 2,200.
So I'm just looking at the properties nearby, the one directly next to it is a 2-family residence. On the same size lot. Let's see if I can see what size that one is.
The one on the corner.
I think we should just let the ZBA.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much we can do tonight, I think. First, if the seeker stuff, can we get a motion to classify this as seeker type 2?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
And yeah, I think if we should all go check out the site and
Yeah, please do. I think it will be a good addition to the town.
all right.
Can leave you with the plans or the line.
Yeah, I think,
Thank you.
thank you for your time, man. Great, thank you. I've been rolling up the solar with this, great.
Yeah.
I use these from the CDA, but
Yes, we'll be in touch with you.
yeah, that meeting will be March 11th, so that'll be your next meeting. And then once we dig deep and. Motion to adjourn.
Email you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.